Hello, hi. This is Douglas Jack of LaSalle-Gardens Mutual Aid Committee, Indigent Community. Here's our website here. There we go. Got just get that in place here. www.indigenecommunity.info. This is Maison de Dialogue, Comité d'entraide, Jardin La Salle, LaSalle-Gardens Mutual Aid Committee. That's 9662 Jean Milot, LaSalle, Quebec. Les vivres pour la santé en économie relationnelle et les domiciles multifamiliales. This is building livelihood in relational economy and connected housing, where the sustainable development, here we go, up. The Sustainable Development Corporation, Coopération de Développement Durable. The second part of this video, this is part two. I want to talk about community economy and the exchange of value in community from the different personalities and the different parts of our economy that make for whole communities. So the word indigenous means self-generating. We're all originally indigenous people from all parts of the world. The indigenous people were on every continent, living in multi-home communities. Multi-home is privacy in the individual apartment or privacy in the individual townhouse. The longhouses were actually apartment blocks, sometimes 30 meters, 30 meters by 15 meters. So these were large, multi-story, each family and each individual having private areas where they were able to live their private lives, but as well having common areas where they could cook meals together, where they could work together, where childcare, where specialists in medicine, specialists in clothes making, specialists in clothes repair, specialists in house building, specialists in canoe making, specialists in as stewards of trees, of food trees that were particularly productive and abundant. In fact, the polyculture orchards of First Nation people were 100 times more productive than agriculture. Polyculture orchards, if you can understand, are vertical and go up into the sky and capture 92 to 98% of solar energy and convert this through photosynthesis into useful articles of matter. Agriculture, the word agir means field, and you can imagine it's flat, it's two-dimensional. Field crops only convert 2 to 8% of solar energy and convert that into productive matter for human use. And the roots go down centimeters, whereas the roots of polyculture orchards go down tens of meters into the substrate, pump water, pump minerals, mine minerals, and develop nutrient colonies going down many, many meters into the ground, totally three-dimensional, both above and below the ground, and providing place for habitat for all sorts of animals, both above and below the ground. The diversity and the abundance, the food produced, the nuts, the fruit and the greens that are produced on trees are hugely abundant. Well, this three-dimensional abundance was also carried forward through human relations. The use of the circle, whereby people could see each other and become aware of the capacities of the whole. So I was talking in the last segment upon our human resource catalog, which is an Indigenous tradition of knowing the assets of the community and helping them to interact. Through time-based accounting, time is the valuing of people for the investment of time that they make in their area of specialty. And the area of specialties are grouped into production societies. And the production societies where you have specialists in each area working together to provide their goods and services for community. This here is a string shell. These are manufactured beads that were used across Turtle Island, North America. You have the blue, white, and white again. The blue was worth twice as much as the white beads. Typically, what the white and blue would do is the white would purchase, say, an hour, roughly equivalent to an hour of today's value in labor, and the blue is worth twice as much. But more importantly, this was time invested in the production societies, right from when someone was a 10-year-old, beginning to vision their strengths and services for community. They would go on vision quests, they would dream, they would look inside to find out what their gift for community was. The word education, actually from the Latin, means to lead forth from within. It's the original meaning of the word education. And youth were never meant to be separated and segregated the way they are today in today's educational system. They were meant to be part of learning and mentorship from elders and from in their area of the place from their heart that they felt attached to. So the string shell, you can see it's very compact, and much more compact than our dollars, and much more compact than even our Visa cards. And these would be strung in long strings and held from the arms outstretched from arm to arm is called a fathom. And these fathoms would be used as an indication of the experience that people had from their contributions in each area of expertise. And the production societies grouped these areas of expertise, sometimes called caucus. Caucus means group, from the Iroquois, meaning grouping of like interests. And within their area of expertise, they enjoyed an economic democracy that was actually more important than political democracy, because in your area of expertise, you had the greatest impact of your knowledge, had the greatest impact for your community, and this was where your primary decision making was made. So that the string shell represented capital, represented currency, represented social security, represented communications in the, these were strung together in belts, and they were strung together in various symbols that represented different aspects of both graphic writing systems and character writing systems that were across Indigenous communities. They were all with written languages. The languages happen to be graphic, which are much more effective than alphabets and phonetic languages, although they also had symbols for sounds. But so when the accounting for this done by the special accounting specialists within each production society, who kept track of the labors that people were doing and their contributions to the whole of the community. What that did was it provided a whole set of values. You can understand that the knowledge that you have is related to the currency that you have, is related to the social security that you have, is related to your gifts for community, is related to your communication, is related to education, because the collegial collecting of people together in production societies was the foundation of their education, and the youth would grow in ownership, and their ownership was their accreditation according to the study and the participation, what Paulo Freire calls praxis, the union of theory and practice, or the doing of knowledge. Knowledge isn't just mental; it's also what you do with your whole body, because it's our whole body is a system of knowledge. So there we are. This is the foundation of our decision making is in progressive ownership, across a lifetime, from youth to elder. And these are the values that people use as currency. Then they exchange these for the goods and services that they need, as well as they vote with these, each representing a share. And it's merit-based or progressive ownership, so that those who have gained knowledge over the course of months, years, decades, vote with their knowledge in proportion to what then. This is the traditional system. It's not one member, one vote, where someone who joins yesterday has the same voice as someone who's been there for decades. It's a system of according to the contributions that people have made to their community. Women's work is included, the taking care of children, the medicine, the knowledge that women bring to community is equally celebrated in the economic system and considered as investment within each area of specialty, so that production societies not only touched upon men's work but touched upon women's work. And both were equally empowered, so that white people coming to First Nation communities and Indigenous communities often called them matriarchies, where in reality both had strengths to offer the whole. And maybe women had a particular strength of being stable in community, and men a little bit more travelers and moving around a little bit more, but still the two as complementary with each other, and all needed in the whole community, regional, and continental economies that people were part of. So thank you very much. This is the second part of community building from LaSalle-Gardens, Mutual Aid Committee, Sustainable Development Corporation, and Indigenous Community.